Okay, I think we're here. I think we have crossed the finish line. In one respect, I do have to apologize for Monday's video. I do not know. Like, I must have been so zonked out by the end of that day that I don't know how I thought that sounded okay. I probably shouldn't have published that video, but to give you, like, not as an excuse, but as an explanation, some of you may know or may have heard in a previous video that I was actually taking on a new job, and that job is actually a lot more involved than I thought it was going to be. Essentially, my days are starting at about 5:30 a.m. and on that day in particular, I didn't get home until about 7:30 p.m. and it's interesting, it's challenging, and there's also an added layer of responsibility because it is a family business. So it's you know, it's not one of those things that you can say, hey, my hours end here, I'm going home. It's like, no, because, you know, your family depends on you type thing. And I'm quote unquote the computer guy. So I think you can probably guess like the position I'm in. So it was very interesting, and there have been a few really late nights and very early mornings for the last little while, but things seem to be straightening out and seem to be going well. And obviously, if you're that busy, you have to be kind of doing all right. And these days, that's kind of a good thing. But unfortunately, there are some nasty side effects sometimes. So once again, I apologize for Monday's video. I don't know what I was thinking when I'm leaving it up just because it's a good reminder and a lesson to be learned. But you know, it is what it is. But here we are. I think we've finally got things worked out for the most part, and we can actually talk about things. And I was going to try and record last night, but last night was another late night, and I was like, I don't want to do that again. I don't want to run the risk. So I'm lucky I waited, because yes, I did see Inside Star Citizen, and we're going back to Jumptown. PvE events returning. I was just like, what? Yes, absolutely. And there's going to be rewards based on reputations. I was like, I swear to God, you know, I've heard someone mention these things, and when they specifically in the video said that players were very disappointed that there were no rewards, I was like, yeah, that was, you know, it would be cool if, you know, even back then, if they'd said, oh yeah, we're going to attach rewards to this, but we just kind of wanted to nail it down, I would have been like, cool. But it was a little disappointing. But, you know, now when I look at this and I think about it, even, you know, the Ninetales blockade of a Crusader station, I'm like, man, you see all these Ninetales ships flying around with that Ninetales paint job. It's like, man, you could hand that paint job out to players. And that would be awesome. You know, that would be great. And it's just, you know, it makes me want to engage with the game because it's content, and you know, it's such a great thing to have. And I mean, you know, in a weird way, life takes these weird bounces, and sometimes you find yourself in these places where certain stars align, and it's just like, oh, this is just perfect timing. This is almost like it was meant to be. Because literally a week ago, I was talking to somebody that I play WoW with, and they're like, so can we count on you in the next tier? And I was like, look, I don't know what's going on from day to day. I don't know what time I'm going to be home. I don't know when I'm going to be able to do all this other stuff that I got to do. I'm going to have to maybe put myself into kind of like a maintenance mode for that game, just FYI. And I mean, like, really, even for someone like me, I was just kind of like, I don't even want to like log in just to like knock out a few things or even do a few mount runs or stuff like that. I was just like, nah. And then this comes up, and I was just like, yes, this is, you know, Xeno Threat, Ninetales, Jumptown 2? What? Oh, like, this is, you know, this is the kind of content that I wish I got to make more often. I really do, you know? I mean, yeah, you can kind of look at ships and say, oh, you shouldn't have done that, you should have done this, or oh, what if you changed this with that, and let's talk about interdiction, boo, but this is really the stuff where we all get together and just kind of geek out over this stuff and get excited about it again. This is good stuff. And I mean, I am really looking forward to these events. And even if CIG were to come out tomorrow and say, look, this is just the first tier of awards, we're just going to be throwing out a few paint jobs for your ships, I wouldn't be disappointed. I'd be jumping up and down. I'd be like, yes, great. The only thing I'd be like, is it a paint job that we can apply to every ship, or is it are we going to get paint jobs for specific ships? Like, do we have to do it again and again and again? And it doesn't sound like the events are going to be happening all the time. Like, they're going to show up a little bit more sporadically, which I don't know. I'll wait and see how sporadically they show up, but I would hope that they're more of a very frequent thing. So that you never want to be the player who logs in and it's like you log in and it's just like after they've killed the world boss or whatever, and you're always like, I miss it every time. I hope it's not like that. I hope it's regular enough that players can find their way into it and do it more regularly. This is this kind of dynamic content that just appears. It makes the solar system feel less static and more alive, and it's such a good thing. And especially like now in the early stages of a game's development, when some people would argue, we don't need this content, we need more systems and we need more iteration on this, and this is actually important stuff because it allows you to kind of find your rhythm and to find what kind of events really work and are really well received by the player base, and which events I mean, your heart was in the right place, but the execution wasn't that great. It really, it really lets you set a solid foundation in open world content, which you'd think is an easy thing to do, but, just ask Blizzard. They know how to screw even the easy things up. So, I'm just super excited about this. I really, really am. When I was doing PvE missions as a pirate, and this is some of that footage, for a while it was a glimmer of fun. Yeah, you know what? I had, maximum crime stat, and, players were chasing me a little bit here and there, but not all that much. I just kind of was able to avoid them. This, having these points of control and these resources that you want to chase and going after them, this makes it a lot more interesting. I want to hear more about the rewards and stuff like that. And when they just teased Jumptown 2.0 and then walked away, I was like, you bastards. Tell me about Jumptown. Because I think Jumptown, I would say, arguably was the first real open world event that was continuously running, and it was so good. It was really, really great, and I wish it was back. And so whatever they're going to do with it, I'm excited. Even if it's just like, yo, Jumptown just produced 50 tons of, or 50 cubic meters of, neon, and Grimhex needs 50 cubic meters of neon. Whoever gets here first gets it. Yes. Absolutely. And then on the law-abiding side, it's like, yo, Jumptown's about to produce 50 cubic meters of neon. Stop them from getting it anywhere before it gets out and poisons the children, And it's just like, oh man, there's so many good things that could come out of this. There really, really are. I wish we found out about stuff like this more often. We're gonna see, what tactics players develop, how they go about things. It's going to get interesting. I would like to reemphasize the point that I think that it should be a very regular event, so that, let's say, a guild or a group of players can schedule a time when they want to get together, when everyone can say, hey, we're all gonna be around like Saturday 7 p.m. whatever. Let's all get together and go do the thing, Let's go do, Xenothreat. Let's go do Jumptown 2.0. Let's go do the Crusader Station, the Ninetales Blockade, or whatever they're calling it. that would be my only concern about it being like kind of a sporadic event, is that you wouldn't be able to schedule with your friends, you know, a time to all come together and do these things together. If they want to take it easy and maybe they want to kind of make it a little less, you know, prefabricated groups and a little bit more, you know, off the cuff, and see how that works out, I kind of understand it. But at the same time, if you're going to be going up to about 3 events, I think one of them should happen on a regular basis, so, you know, more organized groups can kind of have some fun in that area. Anyways, some first thoughts, exciting news, can't wait to see more. Good job, CIG, keep it up.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.